We are exactly halfway through the year, so it is time to talk about my top 10 favorite movies of the year so far. Now, before I jump into these, I have to say that I tend to like a little bit weirder movies. Not weirder, different than most people, I guess. So you might not agree with these, but just give me a chance and hopefully you liked at least a couple of them. Now, at number 10 is Summer Camp, and a lot of you have probably already left. But I genuinely liked this movie. I actually received a screener for it and loved it. But I really enjoy movies with these stars. I loved Rita and Mac. I loved 80 for Brady. I love the book club, right? I really like those type of movies. So I was excited for summer camp and it just made me happy and I enjoyed it. Popular Theory, if I haven't lost you yet, I just lost you now, is a movie that I knew nothing about going in. And I just loved it so much because it just showed how important it is to believe in yourself and building friendship, and that popularity really isn't everything. And I thought it just was a great movie. And I was completely shocked at how much I liked this movie. At number 8, we have The Fall Guy. If you saw my review, I kept accidentally calling it Fall Guys, no matter how many times I reshot it. But I got it right this time. It's The Fall Guy. And I liked this movie a lot as well. I loved the action. I enjoyed the movie within the movie. I enjoyed their chemistry together. And it was just a fun, great movie for me. So that's why this one is number 8. At number 7, I just watched this, so it just barely made the list, but is Jim Henson's Idea Man. If you are a fan of Jim Henson at all, grew up watching The Muppets or Labyrinth or anything like that, you should definitely check out this documentary. It was really neat to see all the behind the scenes information, and it just brought a lot of nostalgia for me, and I just really enjoyed this documentary. At number 6 for me is The Beekeeper. I love Jason Statham. I feel he can do no wrong for me. And I just really enjoyed this movie. I get it. It's mindless. It's a shut your brain off and don't think kind of movie. But sometimes those are just needed and wanted. And I loved it. I enjoyed the concept, as crazy as it was. And I just liked that it was crazy start to finish. And it really made me happy. At number 5, I have Mean Girls, the musical. I know this is another controversial pick, but I love the Broadway version of Mean Girls, and I love the original movie. So bringing them together just brought me joy. I liked this movie. Were there flaws? Absolutely. But I still really enjoyed it to where it made me happy, it made me smile, and I had a great time leaving. The only regret I have is that I wasn't able to go opening weekend, so I wasn't able to get one of the Burn Book popcorn buckets that I needed so badly in my life. Coming in at number 4, we have One Life. I did not expect to love this movie as much as I did. I had already known some of the story going in. I had already seen the TV show that's discussed in this movie, but I was excited to see the history and learn a little bit more about it. And let me tell you, this movie got me a few times. I cried and this movie blew me away. So if you've not seen One Life, I would definitely check it out because it's just such a great movie. At number 3, I have Arcadian. I'm telling you, if I haven't lost you yet, this is probably when you leave. Um, I know that this movie didn't get a lot of great praise, but I genuinely loved this movie. I thought it was done so well. And this is one of the only horror movies to ever actually get me caught up in the moment to where like tears were forming in my eyes. And I was like, what is about to happen? I don't like this in one particular scene in the movie. So because of that, it gave me a love for this movie. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. If you don't like it, I mean, sorry, but I really enjoyed Arcadian for sure. At number 2 is probably one of the only movies most people are going to agree with me on with this top 10 that it's even in it. I mean, maybe not that it's number 2, but it's going to be Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. I love this movie. Chris Hemsworth, phenomenal, phenomenal villain. I need to see him as a villain more in my life. I just I like this movie start to finish. I felt like it sped by and they did such a fantastic job. I loved it and it's definitely worthy of number 2. And my number 1 movie, again, you might laugh at, but I don't care, is Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. Loved it. This was my favorite one so far. I love Little Baby Kong. I enjoyed him interacting with the other apes, and I was smiling head to toe by the time that this movie ended, and I really enjoyed everything about it. I know it's hit or miss for some people, but this is by far my number 1 movie of the year. So Now, if you haven't seen any of these movies, then I've also included where you can find them, starting with number 10 and then down to 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, yeah, if you want to check them out, feel free. But what do you think? What are your thoughts? Do you hate my top 10, which I totally understand? Just be nice. Or do you think it's fantastic? I don't know if I'll get very many of those. But what are your thoughts? Let me know. And what are your top 10?